Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. There you go.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Technology is the worst.
Oh, I know. At least you figured it out. I'd probably still be trying to figure it out.
Yeah. It's weird. Also, there's one thing I will tell you, like, don't let your screen go black while you're talking,
Oh,
because then
okay.
it'll glitch and then kick you out.
Oh, no.
Trial and error. Yeah, this is the process.
Yeah, luckily, I don't think I have a screensaver saved on my phone, which is a good thing.
Uh, Cool. How are you?
Good. Just finished work. Fun,
Yeah.
fun day, of course. And you start a new job tomorrow?
Yeah. Well, I normally work in the entertainment industry, but obviously, you know, because of the
Yeah.
strike.
Yeah.
So I am going back to Spirit Halloween, which is, the second best.
Oh, yeah. Creative.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I did it two times before, so I'm going back to that, but I have to get up super early, which I'm not looking forward to, but yeah, it'll be fine.
It's that time of year.
Yeah, it sure is.
No wonder you always have like the best like costumes and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's fun. I think my favorite part is helping people pick out outfits that people come in and they're like, I'm going to a party and there's like a theme or something, and so I help them create their outfit.
Yeah. That's always cool.
Yeah, it's fun. And, also the discount is another favorite part.
Yeah,
Gets
because
me.
those some of those costumes can be they're. I don't ever really dress up, but it's like when I usually go in there, I'm looking for something cheap, and of course, what I want is never cheap.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's always nice because I think it's, get the regular discount. And then, of course, when the season's over, then we get the discount plus the sale price.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm
So,
still waiting. I'm surprised I haven't started seeing them pop up here. There's a lot of empty stores around me, but I haven't seen anything a
yeah,
Spirit Halloween yet.
I think the one that we're going to be in is, of course, an old Bed Bath and Beyond.
Oh yeah.
I knew as
Well, I
soon as
thought
it started closing that they'd have their eyes on them.
yeah, because there was a knockoff uh Spirit store next, like right around the corner from us. It used to be like a rental for like uh beach stuff, like scooters and all that kind of stuff. And they
Yeah.
closed, and of course, the first last 2 years, it's been a knockoff of Spirit Halloween. So they haven't started post. They haven't put anything up there yet, so I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, everybody's trying. And I guess like a lot of the party cities are dying too. A lot of them, I don't know if they
Hmm.
play bankruptcy, but they're all becoming scarce.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen a party scene in a long time.
Yeah. I think we just have one around here, but they're all kind of dying and, they'll probably become Spirit Halloween stores too. I just wish
Yeah,
Spirit was all year round.
maybe that's what they should merge together and have the Spirit all year round store.
It'd be amazing. Then I just work there. No, well, I
Yeah,
don't know.
we could just
Retail's a lot, so I don't know if I do that.
yeah retail. I did retail one of my first jobs was retail. I don't miss it.
I don't either. I feel like I paid my due. Like I've done a lot of retail. I've done a lot of food stuff when I was a kid. So I'm like, I think I'm, ready for different things. But I needed to pivot because of the climate right now.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah,
and who knows how long the strike is going to last.
yeah, yeah. I have no idea, but I have to make money somehow. So I can't sell drugs or prostitute.
You could.
I could, but I don't think I'd make much money. I'd be a terrible drug dealer and probably a terrible prostitute as well. So,
Yeah, I don't think I could do either. So I wouldn't know how to do either.
yeah. So what are you gonna do for the high holiday for girl Madonna's birthday?
Well, it's actually my husband's birthday too.
Oh wow.
So yeah, when I met him, he told me his birthday. I'm like, so he knows. He said he always calls it Madonna's birthday. So
Okay. Well, how
normally
does
I
it feel
do.
sharing it with the queen?
He's fine. He understands that she comes first. He
Naturally.
knows. He knows. So now it's on a Wednesday, isn't it?
I think
I think it's a
so.
Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was looking at. He wants to go to dinner, so we're going to probably go to Houston's, and then I'll usually celebrate the weekend before and the weekend after,
Yeah.
when I can hang out on my little patio and drink and smoke and hang out.
Yeah. They're having a thing at the Heretic Friday. phone while I'm trying to a phone call while I'm trying to do this. I'm like, no, I can't talk.
Yeah, I
No,
saw
they're
that.
having,
The Heretic, right?
yeah. So that'll be fun. I had some friends come with one year, and my neighbors who straight people, and one of them got really drunk, and I took him on a tour, and I was like, "See that back room over there? Don't go in."
They makes them want to go in there more.
Yeah, I know, but it was kind of hysterical because they were all sitting there like learning how to clack the fan.
Hmm.
So, because all the gay boys do that, it just makes me think of the VMAs when she did Vogue.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I hear that sound and it takes me back to 1990.
yes. When it truly started.
Yeah. Do they have a lot of Madonna nights over there? Because are you in Wilton Manors or
Yeah,
adjacent?
just around that. We're like not far from there.
Okay.
We're in Fort Lauderdale, but we're like just a few blocks from Milton Manors.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I don't. I'm trying to see if I've. We really don't go out, so I haven't seen any
Oh,
of the
okay.
gay rags. So I'm assuming the rags probably do have something, but I'm friends of. I belong to this Facebook group that's like, Wilton Manors. What's going on, and they always post like what the bar stuff. So, but I haven't seen anything about Madonna though. So they're not as celebratory here as they should be.
That's a shame.
Yeah,
Everyone needs to. I mean, God, here we have the Heretic, there's a drag brunch, and then there's Mary's.
yeah. Mary's always has Madonna Rama, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's like their biggest night of the year. It's like cramming all these people into the sardine box.
Oh my God, I only went there once, and it was like the last time I went, and I think I went for ginger appreciation night.
Oh, I didn't. I missed that one. I should have gone because I'm technically a ginger.
Yeah, they had a ginger appreciation night, and it was like packed. It was like, but it
Huh.
was to me. I'm just like, I need to be able to like move, and it was when you're trying to walk through that little hallway through, between the bar and the wall, right there, that little
Yeah.
skinny part.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't take it. We gotta go.
I think I'm probably used to it because that reminds me of all the bars back home in San Francisco, like all the
Oh yeah.
shotgun style. So, I mean, I don't know. That's my home bar. I love it. That's just where all the queerdos go.
Hmm.
I mean, I like Heretic because it's got a big dance floor. It is weird to me though that they have line dancing there and they have goth nights there. So it's kind of like everybody's just wound up at the Heretic now.
Yeah, because everything's closing or
Yeah,
has closed.
I miss the jungle.
The jungle was fun,
Yeah,
but
it was lots of fun.
I'm surprised they let that. Well, I guess didn't have a choice.
Yeah,
That that
well, because
space was
now
so
it's
big.
apartment buildings.
Yeah, I remember that was being built when I left,
Yeah,
but they hadn't quite taken over that section yet. But I guess maybe they already did by now.
yeah, they're working. How long has it been since you've been up here?
I'll be gone 4 years into December.
Oh my God,
Yeah, which is
time's wild.
it's gone by fast.
Yeah. You'd probably wouldn't recognize it. Like Cheshire Bridge is insane. Like, all that they've done to it.
Oh, I know. It's like, when I left, basically the apartment complex across from Heretic was being built, and across up the street from BJ's was being built. They
Yeah.
hadn't really completed all that yet. And then, of course, I know that what's that place called? The restaurant that used to be up there, Rocks. The Rocks is
Oh
being
yeah, that closed
converted.
sadly.
Yeah, converted to another one.
Yeah.
Is the bookstore still there?
Which bookstore?
The one right on the corner across from Gino's Pizza.
I guess not.
What was it called? What is
Oh,
it
Tokyo
called?
Valentino?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
it
yeah,
was Insurrection before, I guess.
yeah, yeah.
Yes, that's still there.
Oh, good. Because they were
I've
having like a,
never, I've
they were
never
trying to
been.
zone him out. I've never been, but they were trying to zone him out, and I'm like, just let him be. Good lord, just because you want the
Yeah,
land,
I
just
know.
let
Yeah,
people, just let people do their thing.
I miss. What was it? Taco Cabana?
Yeah, so I used to love to stop there after a long
Yeah,
night at the bar.
you get your food and you get some good drugs. No,
Yeah.
I never bought
I
drugs there, but there were drug deals in the bathroom when I was there. I was like, well, teach their own.
oh hey, there's drug deals everywhere in Atlanta. It's all
It,
over the place.
it is. It is.
You just gotta know people.
So, tell me of your origin story with Madonna, because I guess the one thing I'm most curious about is fandom, and not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily the what, but I guess the why.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why you're into Madonna, what led you to Madonna, that fun stuff.
My my whole thing with her began. Of course, I had MTV. We had MTV early on, like when it like right not right when it first started.
Yeah,
Um, but I grew up in a really small town, so uh, we really didn't have a lot of exposure in terms of like the only kind of the radio stations there sucked because we either, I was either doing country or top 40, which wasn't even like regular top 40. It was kind of adult contemporary.
right.
Um, and the only place that we could see anything new or anything was either like we would watch on Saturdays, we would watch American Bandstand, and then we'd watch Soul Train
Oh,
because
nice.
that was right after.
Yeah,
Um, so that was like our Saturday cartoons. Then then I think it's cartoons and American Bandstand, then Soul Train, and then
yeah.
off to the yard to clean. But um,
Uh,
I I
chores.
yes, I love I hated Judy
Uh,
Garland.
yeah,
But I started liking her. I didn't really. I mean, I liked the first album, but I don't think it was had me kind of hooked. Because again, there wasn't a lot of visuals for that one because at first, um, like at first when they was just on the radio, they really didn't. There was nobody new. It was like she was white, she was black, blah blah.
yeah. I
Um,
know it's weird. Everybody thought she was a black artist, but you listen to her
yeah,
now, and you're like, she sounds pretty well. I mean, she's got
yeah,
some soul. It's more the music
yeah,
sounded
yeah. That's
black,
what I was
not just
reading.
her.
I was reading yesterday. What was the article? The evolution of, I guess, of Madonna, the first album,
Yeah,
and they were talking about how it was kind of like it was introduced at a time before like right after disco and before like new wave, and there was like nothing really on the air, and they were kind of like they said it kind of was like disco R&B was kind of the only way they could describe it the way she first came out because she really wasn't
yeah,
disco, she wasn't
yeah,
and like they're saying that's probably why her appeal was for the the urban crowd was because they kind of thought the music sounded kind of R&B ish, and they probably thought that she
right.
was a black artist to begin with.
I know.
And but I think I saw her up until that point, but it wasn't until the moment I fell in love with her, and I don't know why, but I did. My It was just my sisters and I were. It was a Saturday. I think must have been a Saturday because normally the only time we ever got to watch anything like because we only ever had one TV. Back in those days, you didn't, having two TVs was kind of fancy.
Yeah, one
Um,
TV and like five channels,
yeah, exactly. So I think
like
they,
basic cable.
yeah,
Well,
but then
not even cable.
we had HBO at the time when it was like HBO was only like two movies a night, and that was it.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
and then
And
MT
that
and
was
then
like a
MT
big thing when
yeah, and
everybody would
then
like watch whatever it was, and it didn't matter. You watched it anyway.
yeah, it could have been the crappiest thing ever, but because it was new and it was like amazing, and
Yeah,
and then we had MTV, and I think one weekend they were playing, um, you know, just like we were watching videos, and I think I was watching it, and I think my sisters were kind of walking, running around probably cleaning or something, and Dress You Up came on,
mhm.
and I always loved the beginning of the video, and so I think that's kind of like what attracted me was the opening where she's doing, just the
Down the
the
stairs.
silhouette, yeah, the silhouette, and then
Hmm.
as she was walking down the stairs, there's one point where like the light really hits her, and then you can kind of see like her heavy makeup, and which I
Yeah,
thought was really she looked really pretty, and I loved her look, and
yeah,
my sisters were like, gosh, she's beautiful, and I was like at that time I was like, you guys like her, it was just kind of like wow, so so that ever since that point it was like I was like, but I never understood like why I liked it. You know what I mean? But I was like,
yeah,
it was just kind of like that. There was something in that, like the moment that light hit her on that, when as soon as she comes down the stairs and she's kind
yeah,
of walking towards the microphone, then she like picks it up, and
yeah.
then so ever since then I was like, okay, so um, I started kind of like again, I was probably about how old was I when that video came out? That's 1980, what, four, five?
Well, I think it was 85 because that was from the Virgin tour.
Yeah, so probably after the album came out. I mean, it was obviously after the album came out. So
And you're
yeah, so at
slightly
that point,
older than I'm 45, so
yeah, I'm 5 years older.
okay, yeah. So
So I was like, um, I was
maybe
13. No,
11.
that's I was 13. So
Okay.
I was in that era where I could like I really didn't have my own money, but it was
Yeah.
just like, but I always loved music, so they always got me my gifts for I always asked for like either records or a record player. And I remember
Hmm.
the first one of the first record players I got was like a Fisher Price record player, and it was actually like a neat little Fisher, little. And I got this album called Dancer. It was one of those K-Tel hits, and it had like all this disco songs on there.
Uh-huh.
I love that. And I think that's kind of like that kind of music kind of drew me to her as well. And
Yeah.
then later on, I asked for like I wanted a cassette player, like a boombox.
Hmm.
And I think like the first time I really, I love the like Virgin and everything of that, but I think the first time I consciously made an effort to like when I started like create, kind of collecting everything was like around True Blue.
Yeah.
And I think it was Live to Tell was kind of like where it kind of like cemented because I kind of like um I think at that time at that age you were kind of like being closeted in a small town.
Oh yeah.
You have the thoughts of like suicide. I thought that early in that period of my life I always thought um I had a couple of thoughts of suicide
Yeah.
and I was struggling with my sexuality and I think Live
Yeah.
to Tell came on and I think that's kind of like where I latched onto her because that song was kind of like spoke to me in a lot of ways because it was like the one that reminded the one thing that kind of kept me was like if I ran away I'd never have the strength to go very far and how would they hear the
Right.
beat in my heart and I think
Right.
that's kind of like that's what kind of kept me like going
Yeah.
and that's kind of like where I started getting more and more attached to her um and I love the video because she did like a whole 180 in her look, and
Yeah. That's when she
that's
kind
like
of became more of an adult version of Madonna, I guess. Like,
yeah,
she more old Hollywood, I guess.
hmm yeah, and it was like we had, and then we had so after that, then I kind of waited for the, and that's kind of like when MTV kind of became more Madonna centered. I mean, they'd always
Yeah.
been kind of, but like this is when you had like
Yeah.
the world premiere. Because
Yeah.
remember the commercials? It's like
Uh-huh.
world premiere, Madonna.
Yep.
Open your heart. And then it
Hmm.
gave you the times because you couldn't really, plan to be like on,
Yeah.
it's kind of like premiering at 3, 6, 5, whatever. So I'd always have to make time to like be around for something like that.
Yeah.
And I remember when the DVD or not the DVD, the CD came out. I
Yeah.
was in school, and I think that's when they came out on Tuesdays, right?
God, I don't even remember.
I
Probably.
remember, I remember a lot of music used to come out on Tuesday. Now it's Friday, I think.
Yeah.
But I think I was home from school sick, and my mom was going to Kmart because she wanted to know if she could get me something. I'm like, get me the Madonna, give me the True Blue CD. And so she bought that for me. I think I spent like hours in my room listening to that thing.
You
Just like
guys had
every
a
morning.
CD player in 1986?
Yeah.
Those were
Oh no, maybe
expensive back
no,
then.
or maybe no, maybe she got me the cassette. Maybe she got me
Okay,
the
because I was
cassette.
like that. Those were like, I mean, they were there, but like they were crazy expensive.
Yeah, maybe she got me the cassette because I think I had more cassettes than anything before. I think
Yeah.
I don't think I started buying CDs until I was in high school, which would have been
Yeah.
late 80s.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, we had, uh, so then I would go, like, I used to love to read, and I
Hmm.
would, like, we'd go to the store, and I'd go to a little bookstore, and they had magazines. And of course, I mean, where you go, and you go to the stores, there were like Madonna magazines everywhere, like Tiger Beat
Hmm.
and all those. And I
Yeah.
remember I bought this one. It was like in that period of time. It was like right around. I guess it was right. Everything kind of like for me exploded around True Blue. I mean, although I was there for I was totally there for like a virgin, but I think I was more kind of vested at that point in True Blue.
Yeah.
Um, but I would like get every. I started. That's when I getting like magazines that I could find.
Hmm.
I would always be looking for if she was on the cover or something. And then of course on MTV, they were all, she was always on MTV. There
Yeah.
was the Make My Video contest,
Hmm.
and we used to have a TRL. I don't think they called it TRL then, but it was like the top.
Yeah,
Total
I don't
the
remember. It was like,
request
was it
the
John
request line.
Norris that used to do that?
Yeah, I think so. And then yeah, because it was every day like at 4 or 5 they had the countdown, and
Yeah,
we had a our neighborhood had pretty much everybody. We had a lot of us that were the same age, and there was a couple of girls down the street that her their dad worked a lot, and they had, they had MTV, so we would go there. Um, I would go there just for the music, and of course, the boys in there in the neighborhood would go because of them because they were pretty girls. But we would
yeah,
go and like we would always watch the uh, the total request, whatever that request was called at the time. Oh,
yeah.
Dial MTV, that's what it was.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Dial MTV. And so especially when it was like Papa Don't Preach when that came out, I would
yeah.
always be like waiting to see what number it was that day. Um, and of course, that when that video came out, I was like shocked because this is before the internet had any like, oh, Madonna was fine with short hair. Just all of a sudden, boom, she came out and she had short hair, and
Yeah,
it was like I was like I didn't know how to feel. I was like because
yeah.
I loved tousled hair Madonna. I loved healthy Madonna. The healthy shirt
Right,
Madonna.
right.
Um,
Because I think
but of
Live to
course,
Tell came out first, right?
yes,
Before, yeah,
hmm
because yeah, because it
yeah,
was
because it
from
was
Echo's Range.
yeah because it was in between. It was in between Virgin and True Blue, and I think she wrote it for Sean's movie.
Yeah.
Um, and then so we spent a lot of time there with the girls just watching. It was like a summer of especially during the summer it was fun because we could like put MTV on and it was like all day long was Madonna premieres or Madonna stories or Madonna whatever
Hmm. Yeah.
um, and of course I went from that to who's that girl, right,
Yeah.
between True Blue and then oh my God, I can remember who's that girl when that came out. That was another one. I think that was during the summer as well.
Yeah.
And just I just loved that video. It was just like, and I think I was spending the summer in Tucson when I was with my sister. I would help her babysit. So I was kind of free labor.
Hmm.
but but in return, I was in a bigger city, and they would take me to the mall, and I'd have my money, and I would get school clothes. But of course, I'd have to get Madonna, uh, more Madonna stuff. And I wish I had gotten a lot more LPs back then because I didn't ever really get them until like I got a couple. The only ones I got an LP were I had the Madonna one, then I had Like a Virgin, True Blues on LP, um, and then Like a Prayer, and then You Can Dance. And those are the ones I bought in the '80s. Like those were the actual in the '80s when I bought those.
Yeah.
And I think after that is like when CDs really, really blew up. And I think I stopped buying LP and I started buying CDs. Um, but yeah, I wish I had been more thoughtful to buy the LPs because the cassettes I probably still have them in there somewhere, but I don't have any all the singles and stuff. I have on cassette, which is I don't think they're as they're not as easy to play anymore. That nowadays you can record players are coming back with a vengeance,
Yeah.
and it's crazy. And after True Blue, um, of course, Who's That Girl was my other favorite, and and of course, Like a Prayer. Oh my God, Like a Prayer. Like
Like
a
a
Prayer
Prayer
was
was
like
what that changed everything.
yes.
Because I liked her from the get go. Like Holiday was when I first fell for her, but I had to be like closeted. Like I
Hmm.
snuck my sister's records and I wasn't allowed to. And I remember my mother had a big problem with Like a Virgin and I mean all of that stuff, like a Virgin and I Want Your Sex and and Prince.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was all we were raised Baptist. And so I listened to her and I remember, watching Who's That Girl and stuff with my brother. But then it's like a Prayer came out. I saw the video. I literally fell off the couch and we were in the store and I told my mom, I'm like, I'm not leaving the store until you buy this. And she's like, she's a tramp. She's a slut. And I was like, I'm not leaving without this.
Yeah.
We're doing this.
Yes. That was my grandmother. I had to convince her because she was like, of course she felt that way about the '80s when she was, riding around in Venice on the boat, and
Hmm.
she was like, she would say cochina, which means, nasty girl,
Hmm.
um, and Catholic mother, and so it's like, but I think when Papa Don't Preach came out, she was like, "What is she thinking about?" She's like, "What do you mean she's keeping her baby?" I'm like, "Oh, sure, Dad wants her to break up with her boyfriend." And it's like, because she was like, she didn't, she was like, she didn't understand, she kind of didn't get that it was like she was pregnant, but she knew, but I had to kind of convince her that it wasn't. I don't think she would let me listen to it if she had.
Okay.
And then with the like a prayer video, she saw it and she was like, kind of conflicted about that too. So at the time, we were kind of churchgoers. We would go to church every Sunday and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But she at first she liked it. Oh look, there's Saint so and so and blah blah. Oh look, and then and
Wait,
then
she's
and then
kissing him.
yeah. Then
Oh my
later on she's like, oh my god, and it was crazy because it was like that particular day of the video premiere. It snowed, which it hardly ever snowed growing up, and it snowed, and we had a snow day. And that was
God.
the best day ever because I could watch it every hour like that it was on. Because usually it would start depending on what the coast you're on.
Yeah.
Like I was on Mountain Time, which is like 2 hours later than East Coast. So it would always be on East Coast time. But I
Yeah.
would like make time to like, and I would record it on the. I had my little record my VCR when you could record the cassette.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, my older brother, which was kind of he was, you know, there was a an article, not an article, an advertisement in, I guess maybe like People or Time or one of those magazines, and there was a picture of Madonna, and it was she's like she's wearing like the purple. Like the purple looking chiffon thing, and she's like her head's turned to the side. It looks like a back shot, and it's like,
Oh, for like a prayer.
yeah, and all
Yeah.
it says is, and on the side it just says,
It shall be released.
yeah, and it said lead us into temptation. And my
Oh,
brother's like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's evil. You shouldn't be listening to her. Blah blah blah. That's evil and blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, I had to cut that out and frame that. I had that in
I
my
have,
had that in my room.
I
Um,
have that advert somewhere. So,
yeah, I
I
cut
don't
it out of a
know.
magazine and it's
Yeah.
somewhere down there. But I used to have like I used to cut out, and I regret that now, cutting stuff out of magazines because I would have
Oh,
should have
yeah.
done just saved the whole magazine.
Yeah. No,
Um,
I do that too. And then I had to like rebuy a lot of the stuff on eBay, which, kind of
mhm.
hurt my bank account. But I'm like, well, certain
Yeah,
things like
yeah.
I've had,
If I Go
oh, go
ahead.
ahead.
No, no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that I've had to rebuy some things and like I've had to figure out because I used to have everything, and now I feel like my collection is more like an adult collection, I suppose. Like I
Hmm.
choose what, because after a while, it's like carrying around all that shit. It's so much, so it's like only certain things do I actually bother collecting anymore. Like especially if you've been collecting since the '80s. Holy crap!
Yeah, yeah. Because I think I would have more had I had more if I lived in a bigger town. Like, where I
Yeah,
grew up was very very small. There wasn't many aside from the Kmart. I think that was the only store for the longest time.
yeah.
No record stores to speak of. There really wasn't much. The only time I ever got to go to like a real mall was when I went to go stay, visit my sisters in Tucson,
Mhm.
um, and that's when I would get my stuff. And I belonged to the Icon fan club back in the '80s when it was. I don't even know when it started.
Oh
But
god, yeah.
I have my
Before it was
original
called
like
Icon.
yeah, but I have my original like welcome. Then they sent out a couple. They would send out like a little magazine
Yeah.
fanzine every
Yep.
quarter or whatever. Then you had like a card you got, and then you could order
Hmm.
like this is before the internet. I was like you could order like off of
Oh yeah.
ordering sheets. It was kind of like I
Yeah.
didn't have a lot of money, so I couldn't do a lot of the stuff they had there. But I would always save all the they would they gave you like a little print of something or a postcard when you signed up, and
Hmm.
so I have those things. But I was there for a few years. But I couldn't afford it. And not that it wasn't expensive, but when you're a teenage kid and you don't
Oh
have
yeah.
a lot of money, you're like you have to make do. Or if you when I got my car and everything, I had to. Do I want a car? Do I pay my car payment, or do I really need to pay that Madonna monthly charge?
I know. I
Um,
don't think I became a member of Icon until like, oh god, Ray of Light.
mm,
Because I had been asking for it for so long, and my mom finally gave in. My mom was not a big fan of my obsession, and it got even worse, especially like after I got the like a prayer tattoo.
mhm.
And it's a big tattoo, and it was like a bit was sticking out of my sleeve, and she ripped my sleeve up, and she was like, I just hope someday that you'll wake up and you won't like her anymore. I'm like, it's not gonna happen.
That's not gonna happen. I know. I love your tattoo. It's a good tattoo.
I love it,
Um,
and I have 9 Madonna related tattoos. I'm a little insane about it, but and I have 3 like a prayer tattoos.
I've always wanted one, but it's like I've been like I don't know what to get, so I just don't know. It has to be like something I don't know what to get. I don't know, and it's like I'm getting older and older. I should just do it, but
Yeah,
I want something like yours looks like the picture. You know what I mean? Yours is really good,
yeah, I
but I
got
see.
lucky. The
Yeah.
guy who did it was specialized in portraits, and then I had to have it redone almost 20 years later. And the girl also specialized in portraits. She just touched it up. I'm weird about that, but I lost contact with the original artist. Um, and I just don't want to like disrespect them, but if we
Hmm.
can't get a hold of them, then
Yeah.
because
There's
I
no
know
way.
sometimes they're weird about going over other people's work.
Yeah. 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 I
But
was
she did a
wanted.
good job.
I love that. Yours looks like one of the best ones I've seen because I've seen some people post not our group, but just in when you're looking just in general on Google and stuff. With
Yeah,
people's tattoos are like they should look cross-eyed or something.
I
Um,
know. I know. I try and like I just don't comment because I've seen some things on certain pages and I'm like, "Oh, that's a choice." I'm like, "You didn't do your research before you," but that's fine.
yes,
If
and
they love it, it's fine.
I had a friend who did a charcoal drawing of her for me,
Hmm.
and um, he actually he did a really good. It was the profile picture of True Blue, and he did a
Oh
really
yeah.
good job. And of course, I had it like I didn't, it was I just kind of haphazardly put it away, so it's kind of smudged now. But I hadn't seen him in years, and I saw him, a few years ago, and he's like, "I have the original one that I wrote, that I did. I did too." He's like, He's like, "I didn't like the first one because it was her lips were just not right." And he showed me that one. He gave me that one too, but he's like, it was yeah, you could tell the lips were a little bit, too elongated on the thing. So he's passed away now, but I was like,
Yeah.
it was a nice little gesture, and he did a really good job with it.
Well, yeah, and it's
Uh,
probably nice for you to have that since now he's gone.
Yeah. So yeah, he's always been. And I had a biggest crush on him back then,
Oh.
and but he was my boss at work, and it was
Well,
just, and then it was kind of. But after reconnecting for like after almost I don't even know 15 years maybe I guess. Um,
yeah.
so it was crazy, and then he passed away a few years later. But it was nice to reconnect, and we did kind of go out a couple times before the But he lived in Dallas, and I lived in Atlanta at the time, so it was never going to work out.
Yeah.
But he was,
Well,
he knew.
stranger things have happened,
Oh
or
yeah.
can. Like that's why I'm in the South. My ex lived out here. I lived in California, and but I mean, we're not together anymore, obviously. But everything happens for a reason.
Yep. I was. Yeah. My ex from a few. My not my husband, but my other ex before him brought me out to North Carolina, then to Atlanta, and
Yeah.
so that's how I ended up there. And that's how I met my husband now. So it all happens. How it
And
happens, I
now
guess.
you're in DeSantis land.
Oh my God, I wish I could do something about that. But yeah, we're trying. We're trying to vote him out.
No, I know, I know. I'm kind of scared about next year. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my goodness, me too. I'm always worried. I'm
Yeah.
always worried.
I
But
mean,
yeah.
I love Joe. Joe, I feel is a placeholder.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. I don't
We
know.
just
I mean, I
we
don't
just
think he
need
should
somebody
run again.
stronger. No, we need somebody
Yeah.
stronger. But what are we
I'm
gonna do?
really tired of old white men being in power.
Oh yes, especially when they're like halfway dead. Halfway to their. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and
you
even.
saw what happened with Mitch McConnell and even Dianne Feinstein. I'm just like,
Oh yeah, they just need to retire.
term limits,
Term
term
limits.
limits, age
Yes.
limits. Come on.
Yeah. I hear you. I hear you.
It's frustrating. I don't know. I just don't know. Like, I feel like everything with Trump just like we just went kind of backwards. And I think we were
Oh,
there, but like Trump was like, oh, you can say it out loud now.
yeah, that's what he kind of opened up to. Like, you can share your opinions now, and even though they're wrong,
Yeah.
and or they're but you'll be celebrated for it now because now I made it so acceptable. So
Yeah.
Because like
Uh,
I love the current, the current the Jason Aldean thing with they
oh God.
when they canceled him and now he's like number one song, and I'm like, that doesn't work on on the right. The right loves that. They don't have shame. That's a,
Yeah.
cancel means to bring somebody out, accountable for a horrible uh, belief that they have, or racist or whatever. But they love that when you point it out. Oh yeah, they're racist. I'm gonna buy their albums more now.
Well, and I've had so many people act like it was just him, like people having a fit over nothing, and I'm like, it's a really. I haven't heard the song, but I've read about it and also where he filmed it. I'm like,
Hmm.
that's obvious. And all these people are like, I don't understand. It's just snowflakes. And I'm like, it's not snowflakes. It's that you're being a dick on purpose.
Hmm.
And that's why people are getting all up in arms. I don't know. It just, yeah, freedom of speech is fine, but also it's like, I don't know. If you have nothing,
There's a line between what type of freedom of speech.
yeah.
It's if you're
And I
using
hate
it
it because,
to if you're dog whistling, that's not freedom of speech. You're just using
yeah,
that to rally people to do something that
yeah. And there's so many
But
people that I love that like I can't love anymore. Like I used to love Roseanne and I can't watch the show anymore because I don't know what
hmm.
happened to her.
Oh yeah, these people that you thought were, I guess, I just assume that a lot of people and they're still there's being in Hollywood, they are liberal, most of them, but not all of them. Just after
Yeah.
when you see certain people that, oh my God, I can't believe he was a racist this whole time, or
Yeah.
and it's crazy when you see them supporting the right, and I'm like, you're like in this industry where it's kind of made up of people who were marginalized, and and you have to find a sense of community, and you have to be just the creative open-minded world that is entertainment, and then you have these people
Right.
that are like voting for people that like to stifle that, and it's kind of, I don't understand that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of like Trump because he's not a Republican or a Democrat. He's just in it for himself. And
Hmm.
I think Roseanne's doing the same thing, and a lot of celebrities do the same thing. Whoever's just going to back them up the most,
Oh,
you know.
whatever brings the donations in, that's it.
Because I've heard things about, people have said that, whatever Roseanne said was like taken out of context, but whether it was or whether it wasn't, the way she handled it after
Hmm.
was just insane. And now she's like, um, doing what she had a stand up thing on Fox News or some crap. I don't know.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Well, I don't
Yeah.
watch Fox News, but yeah, that's kind of
Well, I
crazy.
saw an advertisement for it on like, I think
That's
it
when
came across
you've gone.
Amazon, and
That's
it
when
was
you've gone to
called
the dark
cancel.
side.
It was called cancel this, and I was like, oh my god, really?
Oh Lord,
Yeah. It's
that's a shame, because she's on she's on that our one of our the Madonna skit on SNL, um,
oh yeah, yeah. The coffee talk.
Coffee Talk with
Yeah.
what's her name, and what's her name, the
Oh, Linda
character's name,
Richmond.
Linda Richmond, yes.
Yeah. Talk amongst yourselves.
Talking amongst yourselves.
And then Barbara, of course. Yeah, it sucks too because she did so much for the working class people and really did
Hmm.
something different. I mean, it's a shame. I mean, her, Cosby, all these people that were just like amazing, and it's like now it's like, oh god,
Yeah, yeah, because she was. I loved her. She had back in the '80s. She had like an HBO special on
yeah,
HBO, and it was like I think right. It was like right around the time. It's not like right before, right after Roseanne started, and
yeah,
um, and it was just, I loved it. And, she was so funny. I loved her, sense of humor. I used to watch the Roseanne show, all the time, and again, like later on when she got all crazy, and I was like, and the one thing that amazes me is like she's the one that like literally spat on the Star Spangled Banner, and they were, and now these people are like, oh, she's one of us. It's like
I know,
they seem to forget that part, but they hold it against everybody else if they do something that they
yeah,
deem not patriotic.
yeah,
Oh,
I
those
don't,
idiot people. That's just crazy.
yeah, it's good times, really, yeah,
I know. I'm not looking forward to it. I
I
was
know.
looking forward to what the tour have already started, right? What was the starting date?
Oh, the Celebration tour.
Yeah, wasn't it? Or
It
this
was
month?
supposed to be July 15th.
That's right. In Toronto. No. In
No, where was it? Yeah, Toronto.
Ontario.
That's right.
Toronto.
Yeah, Montreal, maybe. I don't know. Canada.
One of those. Canada, I know that. But I'm looking forward
Yeah.
to that. I was disappointed.
Yeah,
Um
I mean, I'm disappointed, but her health is the most important thing, and all these quote unquote fans that are spouting hate.
oh my god, yes.
I've heard
And
so
like
many
this
things.
the,
It's
the thing that my I was in training because this job I started like last month.
yeah,
So I was in training, and there was I was kind of scrolling through my phone, and then all the headline was Madonna found unresponsive,
yeah,
uh, and I was like, they got gasped, and they were like, what? And I'm like, nothing. And so I was like, and then of course I had this knot in my stomach that I need to find out what's going on now because it just brought to me that image of the shades of Michael and his farewell tour. I was like, oh my god.
yeah,
I was like, that no, it can't be, it can't. But it was like, once I read that this was like had already happened and she was back in, but still I was kind of like, worried
yeah,
for the next few days because I was like, oh my god, I'm just, I was trying to get everything that I could
yeah.
online news wise, but then I saw like Rosie and um Debbie
Debbie
posting stuff
Mazar.
that
Yeah,
they were posting, she's good, blah. I was
yeah.
like, okay, so I trust their posts versus like the New York Post and all that other crappy
Oh God.
news.
Yeah, I didn't
Those
read a lot of those articles. I didn't just the whole like, oh, she's found unresponsive and blah blah
yeah.
blah. And I don't know. Like, I really feel like I went to another place and I couldn't think that way.
Hmm.
Because then it just, yeah, because I've always joked around. I'm like, you know what? I have to die first. I have to go before Madonna. She's gonna
Hmm.
live forever. We have a deal.
That's what
But
my family always says. They're like, I don't know what you're gonna do the day she dies. I'm like, she's not going to.
oh yeah, no,
I'm
I
like,
had,
I'll be calling, I'll be taking bereavement from work, and
yeah,
that's it.
yeah, I had
Just
so many friends message me and they're like, "You okay?" And I was like, "Oh God," I'm already. I was like tired of talking about it. I mean, it was really sweet, but it's just like that just made me even more frazzled.
yeah, me too. Because everybody was like, oh, is she? Do you think she's gonna die? And I'm like, no, I'm sensitive. I'm like, just leave it be. I'm like, she'd be fine. She's fine.
Well, and just what made it worse was all the speculation with all the fans, like the
Hmm.
supposed really big fans. I won't name any names, but they know who they are.
Yes.
Who are just like, oh, she's faking. She's not ready for the tour. She had her butt pads or her butt implants removed. This or that, whatever. And at the end of the day, it's like, it's her business. And, she was sick. She almost died. So people care more about their, yeah, it sucks because, they have to reschedule things, but it's like that happens on any tour, on any
Hmm.
concert you go to. Life happens.
Yep. And
And there's,
at least it wasn't canceled altogether. It was
yeah,
just
just
the first leg
postponed.
is, yeah, that's just postponed until we'll get to see her next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and by then we'll know. That's the one thing I was trying to avoid spoilers, but
Yeah.
uh,
And
but I know by then I'm not gonna have the strength to not see what the opening is, and I'm not so.
yeah, ever since the internet, there's been no way that I cannot, see spoilers,
Hmm.
unfortunately.
Yeah,
And
because
I've
that was
tried. I just
yeah.
can't. I don't have the willpower. I'm like, I gotta know
Yeah,
what the costumes are and what the songs are. And
yeah. Who was it for? Which one? Which tour was that for? That because Confessions, I really didn't know anything, and going to it, I really had tried not to look. But again, the internet wasn't really that prevalent back then, or our phones weren't that connected to the internet back then.
right.
Um, but it was like the Sticky and Sweetest where I had to like look it up,
Yeah.
and then that's kind of like ever since then I'm like, okay, so I have to look, and then of course you have to see the performance in every city to compare.
Yeah. Yeah.
How did she do it here, and how did she do it there?
Uh,
Um, yeah, the one that I'm glad I never heard anything about was the Reinvention tour, because that was like the best surprise in my life.
Oh, that was amazing. I
That was
saw
like
two nights in Atlanta. The first night we got the VIP. We were in the seventh row,
hmm
and it was extraordinary. And yeah, that's actually
yeah.
one of my favorite tours. I don't know what my favorite tour is. Like I always go back and forth between that and Drown World. I love Drown
Yeah, there
World.
were.
I love the punky, just cyber. Just it was very chaotic.
hmm I don't
I
know
don't
why
know.
we didn't see. Yeah, because the first one I saw, the first one I paid to go to was Reinvention, and
Yeah,
then I don't know what happened with um, Drown World, and
yeah.
then but I know we did go because some friends of mine from here, and my when I lived in Atlanta, some friends of mine, I mean, they were the ones that kind of, hey, do you guys want to go to Madonna? I'm like, yeah, no, that's when I belonged to the fan club, and you got the
Yeah.
pre-sales. That's what it was.
Right,
I
right,
didn't
right.
belong to the fan club during Drown World, but I belonged to the fan club during Confession. That's when I got the pre-sale. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, we saw her here in Miami, in August, and I think it was August, and it was like freaking humid as hell, but it was like the best experience ever.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it was one of that between that and Reinvention are like my two favorites that I've seen in person. Of course,
Yeah.
Blood Ambition is always like the one I
Oh, I
wish I would
wish
have
I would have.
seen.
Yeah,
I wish,
same.
yeah, yeah. It's like, but then again, it's like you got to remember, like back in that time, she only had two like small. Now, by comparison, two small screens on the side. These people are filling these huge stadiums,
Yeah.
80, 90, whatever, and nobody can really see that far, but yet they're there, and it's kind of like they're experiencing, when it's kind of amazing, that these people were just they didn't have to have all the theatrics presented on screen. They were just happy to be in that moment.
Yeah.
You could probably just use your binoculars to. I was watching something the other day. It was a oh, which one? Which concert was just recently? It's like the 30th anniversary. What one of the concerts we're talking about? Um, Maybe they were talking about who's that girl maybe, and they were just showing people like in line, like, hey, it was when Madonna did the concert here in Miami for the
Mhm.
at the Orange Bowl,
Yeah.
and somebody they were showing like old news footage, and they were saying the girls were like, it was at the time the best selling concert by a female artist, blah blah blah, and people were reading people on the waiting in line. They're like, "Are you excited to see her?" Like, "Yeah, I brought my binoculars," because it's like again, she didn't have a lot of screens at that point either.
Yeah.
So it's just amazing how. And then there was somebody posted how much a ticket was for that concert the other day. It was
Oh
like twenty
yeah.
two dollars, twenty two
Yeah.
dollars and 50 cents. I'm like, good lord, ridiculous
Yeah.
prices.
I think when I saw Reinvention, the VIP package, I think I paid 1,400 for two tickets.
hmm
And 700 is pretty cheap. I mean, I know for the Celebration tour we have the pit, and that was 1,000.
Yeah, I didn't.
So, but
I couldn't get
worth it.
anything. I couldn't get anything. 'Cause my husband, I couldn't. I didn't know if he wanted to go or not because he has a disability. So it's kind of like we had to plan. You can't
Yeah.
just like buy tickets for that. So I was trying to like gauge his interest if he wanted to deal with that or whatever. But my
Yeah.
friends ended up buying like a VIP, not like one of those, but on the floor, but it was like a side.
Yeah.
They paid like 475 each, and then but I ended up missing out. And then my husband said he didn't want to go, so I was like, oh damn! So I was scrambling to buy a ticket at I bought a ticket at the upper level. I'm like, fuck it, I'll just buy this ticket because it's, I still be able to see her. And then later on, when the public went on sale, I looked for another ticket. I found a better one, so I had the two, and I was, trying to sell the other one, but then of course all this happened. So, um,
Yeah.
I'm hopeful for once it gets rescheduled, I can sell the other one. And people were just being so bitter about it. They're like, oh well, like you said, they're like, oh, well, she's seen how well Taylor and Beyonce are doing, and she got scared or something. Like that's
Yeah.
stupid. It's
I
like
know.
if anybody should be, the original, the originator of like the tour as it is, we know it today is her. Why
Yeah.
would she be scared of anybody?
Yeah. Exactly. I don't know. It kind of showed me who's a real fan and who's not, and I don't even care if that's an offensive statement because it's just
Yeah.
like, her health is and her welfare is the main thing, and all these people that only and I know it's a lot of money and it's a lot of hassle, but it's like, get things that can be refundable or changeable or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know, they act like this has just never happened on any tour of hers or anybody else. This happens all the time. That's why they have, you know, the trip insurance and flight
Oh,
insurance and
exactly.
all whatever else.
Exactly. And it's like they're not. If they complain, they're not really true fans. It's like
Yeah. Well, and there's
you
some
had.
of them that all they do is friggin' complain. All they do, all their comments, and a lot of them I've had to like unfriend and take off Instagram and stuff. I'm just like, I can't
Hmm.
anymore.
Yeah, because
Um,
like the first thing they what's the first thing they always put? I hate when they like. I think Jen the other day, not the other day, but it's been about around the time period before the like right around the time she got sick, and I think somebody made a comment about her face and oh,
yeah.
right about the Grammys, and then Jen was like, she'll call him out, and I see her, and I love that about her. She'll like,
Oh yeah,
she'll call him out, and I love that. And I can't remember what she told him, but it was like, thank you, Jen.
yeah. I know. We have our little the four of us have a group text. Me,
Oh yeah,
Jen, Toby, and Tommy, and we like to comment about some of the fan pages. It's just ridiculous, just the way people are acting. I mean, and God bless Jen. Shout out to her because, like, not only Madam X, but Reinvention tour, they both were rescheduled, and we had to like scramble. And Jen dealt with all that with calling the airlines and the hotels and just all of that. And like, she's just a whiz with like, and that's why I'm like, I don't understand how these other fans can't navigate that. And she was just like, it took a minute, but it's like she got it done.
yeah. And then you have enough time to change all that. It's not like they say, oh well, the show's rescheduled till the day after the night. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah,
you're not like everything's there's enough time to do everything. Just people just like to complain.
yeah, no. Any like one of the fans who may or may have not been in. I'm going to tell you a secret. Um, anyway, he was like, "Oh, she owes me an apology, and I need a refund." And I'm like, "They don't do refunds unless the show is actually canceled." And Madonna is not; she owes nothing to anyone.
Hmm.
No one does, and it's like I think they're all missing the point, and
Yeah.
it's bullshit, and it sucks, and it's unfortunate, but I don't know what to tell you. It's like find somebody else to be obsessed with them. Go be a
And then
Taylor Swift fan. No, I'm just kidding. No,
yeah,
Taylor's fine. She's fine.
I love Taylor too, but
She's not
no,
Madonna, but she's fine.
yeah, she's good. She's good at what she does.
Yes.
And she's kept that. She's been smart in terms of like she's gotten a little bit political, which is a good thing. And she's still not
Yeah.
been canceled yet, which is good.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, she knows what she knows what she's doing.
Right.
Um,
Right.
I mean, she's not Madonna, of course.
Well, yeah,
Nobody could have
but
ever done what Madonna did back in the days and got away with it.
oh my
Um,
God. Yeah, I just try and think of somebody doing that now.
hmm.
And it's bizarre that, I mean, Madonna even mentioned it with, what Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion doing WAP. And
Yeah,
Madonna's like, yeah, I paved the way. It's
yeah,
just because of me you can do songs like that. And it's true.
yeah.
But like she said in 1995, they won't, when I'm dead, they'll finally kiss my ass.
Oh yeah, when I'm dead and gone to find kiss my
Yeah.
ass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love that interview so much because I think
yeah.
she was tired. I mean, that was like right before Evita. And it's like when that was that moment of time where she almost went adult contemporary and she was for a
Hmm.
little bit. And then she's like, no.
I think she realized. Well, she was kind of like at that bedtime story period, and I think she was like about to do the same album again. I think because I know she had uh, Babyface on tap where they had already done some work. I can't remember the story, but
Yeah, there are a lot of
um,
singles from the Ray of
yeah,
Light sessions that he did.
yeah,
But
yeah. And I think she just all of a sudden just one day just scrapped it and went, hey, I'm gonna go this other way, and it's like it ended up being like the career defining,
yeah,
album, for her. And that was the best. When I lived in Dallas, Texas, I just I remember driving to Blockbuster Music the night
Hmm.
of I don't know if you remember Blockbuster Music. Do you remember
I do. I
Blockbuster
do.
Music?
Yeah.
And I went that night, and I walked in the door. 'Cause I don't think they were open. They would open like at midnight or something. They would
Yeah.
close like at 10, and they would like start restocking whatever. And then I think they would open at midnight at music release night. But I
Yeah.
went in, and I was like, I was looking for um uh looking on the wall where they had the new release, and I couldn't find it. I was like, oh my god, please don't tell me they have it. And I asked the guy, I'm like, do you have the new Madonna? And he's like, let me see. So he like started like unboxing boxes, and he's like, oh yeah, he's like, here. So like, do you want a limited edition one and a regular one? I'm like, sure. So I got the limited, the one that has like the
Yeah. The holographic kind
the
of.
holographic cover on it, yeah. And then I got
Yeah.
the other one, which I shouldn't have opened that one either, but but I did.
I'm a bad fan. I open up everything. I don't care
Me
because I'm
too. I
like,
don't.
well, what am I gonna do? It's like I don't.
I want
I'm
to see
never
the
gonna sell
inside.
it.
Yeah, because I have the music one where it's the like the canvas with the like the belt buckle on the
Yeah.
little metal piece. I have that one
Hmm.
music, and I got that one.
Yeah.
Um, and so I was they always sit there, and I'm not gonna open it, and I'm like listening to this to whatever, and I'm like listening and reading the regular CD. I'm like, I wonder what the other CD has in it, or their CD. So then of course I ended up opening them up.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it was. I remember those days of going to the record store to the day of, and just that was the best
Yeah.
experience. Just not you couldn't download it, you couldn't,
Yeah.
that was before, like that's when like you had Napster and all that stuff, and you had to like legally download everything, and it
Yeah.
was expensive to. I don't think iTunes was around then, but you could download music but pay like a buttload for it.
Yeah.
Um, and even then, not everybody was available. I don't even think her stuff was available to download at the time.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I would love my music, and I think I would if it was a Madonna release, I would take the next day off because I knew I would be up all night
Oh,
drinking and listening to it because you cannot not listen to it one time. You have to listen to it over and over again until you memorize and figure
right.
out which is your favorite song, and then memorize the words, um, and then the whole next day you got to do the whole thing again. But yeah, that was like the best time.
I know it's funny because when Ray of Light came out, I knew that the album was about to come out, and so I wound up, I guess, getting my old job back at Burger King, and I was, I don't know, I guess maybe 19 or so when that came out,
Mhm.
and I didn't get my first paycheck in time for the album, and I was so upset. I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to get the album when it comes out. Oh my God. But then my friend Sean came over and we were all hanging out and he's like, come here. He's like, I gotta tell you something. And we went in the living room and like we sat on the couch and like he was just being silly and he's like, I got something for you. It's in my pants. And I was like, it's even weirder because I had a total big crush on him and I was like, oh my God. I'm like, it's finally happening. And then he whips out the CD and it was actually even better. And then
Oh
we
my god.
listened to it, and I had my lava lamp going on in my bedroom, and we got stoned, and we listened to Ray of Light the first time.
Oh my god. Yeah, I sat in the parking lot of that Blockbuster music, and this is when I had like a Chevy Cavalier. It was like a 2000 something. I don't know when no, it was like a 1995, 97, I think it was, maybe 95, around there somewhere.
Yeah.
And it didn't come with a CD player, but it came with the cassette. But I had to buy that cassette adapter for my Discman, for my Discman.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Um, so I was playing it in there, and like really didn't have another. I didn't have like a stereo at home because I was living with I had just moved to Dallas at the time, and I really didn't have any of my own stuff. So she had, so I literally just sat in my car and listened to this on, and I think instantly my favorite was Sky Fits Heaven. I love that one right off the bat.
yeah,
Um, and it was just, I think the next one after that was music. I did the same thing with music. Um, I went to the Virgin Megastore, which was that one. Um,
yeah.
and that was cool because it was like a huge record store. There was like people in line, um, and I was like, oh my god, they're gonna get all the Madonnas, all the CDs are gonna be gone. But of course,
I
nobody's there
know.
for Madonna at the time. They were like, I was like, one of the first ones to get the Madonna, but I got the special edition one and then the regular one because I would always try to save money for I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't need rent this month. I can just get my Madonna stuff.
I know. I was always the one who called the record store to make sure that they held a copy for me before,
Hmm.
because like at the time too, like especially in high school, like I'd have to go take the bus or whatever to the record store. Um, and I'm sure they thought it was crazy because like there was a time, especially bedtime stories, like that was a bit of a backlash. So it wasn't as, she was
Yeah,
not as popular until, of course, Take Bow came out and that changed again. It's like, don't
yeah,
count her out.
exactly. And I think I remember when I lived in Texas, when I moved to Texas, and Take a Bow was out, and we called to the radio station and we requested, and they're like, she's so old and she's so over. Like they would literally, like the DJ would tell you, she's like, "Ah, we're not playing that." And it's like, and then a few weeks later, a month later, it's like all over the airwaves. And
Yeah.
um, also again with music, when music came out, I was, calling and I think, and it kind of didn't dawn on me till later on. He was, what he was saying was, I called and I was like, "Can you play the new Madonna song in music?" He's like, "Are you a Madonna fan?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You sound like a Madonna fan." And I was like, later on, I
Wow.
just realized what he meant. Like, basically, I must have sounded gay or something. He never
Yeah.
played it. He never played it, of course. But I was like, I never forgot that. But it was like, of course, I had it in my car. I was listening to it on my car on the way home. I was like, but
Yeah.
I just wanted. To me, I was like, I always want to hear people's opinion, what people think about it when they play it on the radio. I'm like, you don't
Yeah.
love it as much as I love
Yeah. I know. And now it's just not the same anymore. Like, I don't know, the whole landscape has changed.
it. Oh, I know. And then with the leaks and everything, it just totally takes the magic out of it. Like,
I
with
know. I feel
with
bad
Rebel
about
Heart. With Rebel
Rebel
Heart.
Heart. God, the demos, a lot of them were much better than what wound up on the actual album.
Yeah, and I think that I don't know if she had time to do it, but I don't know if she like said, well, since these were leaked, I'm going to do the other ones instead. It's like,
Yeah, well, I
or
think
that
she
because,
redid them because she was like, everybody's already heard these, so I'm going to do them
yeah,
differently. But the Beautiful Scars is so much better, the demo. I don't
hmm
like the disco version on the album.
yeah,
Sorry
no,
to say.
I like the Vici version of Rebel Heart, not the one that's on the album, like
Yeah,
the one that was released, and then of
yeah.
course I like Wash Over Me.
Hmm.
I like that version better.
Yeah,
I mean, they're both good, but I like the Vici version, which I'm just surprised that she didn't release the Vici version after he died.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, or like a not a reissue. I guess a reissue. I guess you could call it.
yeah.
Um,
Maybe someday. I don't know. I think someday she's just sitting on a gold mine. I think she just needs to release all like the demos and different versions and all that. Just,
she needs to release the tours
she needs to release Blonde Ambition,
and
fucking
Reinvention. Oh my
DVD.
god, yes.
Yeah, that too.
The
Well,
Blonde Ambition, yes.
I feel like Blonde Ambition, she probably had some weird deal with HBO and Pioneer because they only released it on Laserdisc.
Hmm.
And then I think Reinvention, it was because it was that the movie, the documentary.
Oh yeah, I'm going to tell you a secret.
Yeah. So I don't know, but I mean, I think there's some weird contractual things. Um,
And there's a
I also,
there's a the, on the I'm going to tell you a secret. There's the that version of the video of the tour that I guess that was supposed to be released but never was.
yeah,
Um, which is actually a fun tour. Like she looks so like in that cut. She looks like she's always in the greatest mood ever. Like she's, like which, I was like, just release that one because I was like, she's
yeah.
obviously having like the best time, and um, yeah, that's like one of my favorite. Because
I
it's my
think that
first one,
was,
I thought.
I think it was from Lisbon, from Portugal. I think.
Yes, it was. Yeah,
Yeah,
and again, it's like release that and release, other songs, and give
yeah.
us what we want, give the fans what they want.
I think she will. I mean, but also like I'm just happy with whatever she releases, and I'm just happy that she's still around and doing stuff.
Oh yeah,
Because I feel like everything she releases is just everybody complains, and I'm like, okay, what more do you want? I don't know. They're like, she releases something like, oh, well, it wasn't. I wanted this remix instead. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you.
yeah,
I don't. It just
exactly.
everybody. I feel like so many of her fans complain, and I know that's probably a horrible thing for me to say. I'm complaining about her fans complaining because I hate people that hate.
Yeah. I hate people that hate.
Well, I do, but it's just like I don't know what more this woman needs to give you. She has 40 years of a catalog, so I don't know. I don't think she owes anybody anything at this point. I mean, it would be
Yeah.
nice, but also it's like, well, be appreciative with what you got.
And then the fact that she's releasing certain things, like the singles that she's been releasing lately,
Yeah,
that's pretty neat. That's been like
yeah,
giving back to the fans. But of course,
oh
nobody's
yeah.
happy with that. Why
Well, and
didn't you
people,
do this one?
yeah. Well, then people bitched about Lucky Star, and I'm like, well, those are the original. It only came with like the original and like an extended remix.
Yeah,
That was what it was originally.
yeah. They didn't
And they're
ever
like,
like.
oh,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
Yeah, because back in those days, like in the early in the '80s, they didn't have like the super duper electromagnetic mix or
Yeah,
the Paul Oakenfold AD. You know what I mean? It was just
yeah,
kind of like the record labels would just release like the 12-inch single, which is basically just like an extended version of the song with
yeah,
more instrumentals in it, like the
yeah,
7-inch mix, the instrumental mix. And
yeah.
if you were lucky, maybe one like a dance remix, but it was just basically the same song with a couple extra beats.
Yeah. And
Um,
it's like that's what she's releasing. She's releasing the original singles.
yeah,
And
because if you
I
look
know a
at
lot of people
no, go ahead.
no, I just know a lot of people are like, oh well they should have done a special anniversary remix, blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't know. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. If you want to do one, then do one yourself. I don't
Yeah, there's plenty of them out there.
Yeah, I know. Like there's so many remixes, there's so many DJs and remixers and whatnot. So go listen to those.
Yeah, there's plenty for you to find. If you don't like that one, then find you another one.
Yeah, there's something else out there for you.
I mean, like even with I was, you know, super excited for Vulgar, and I love Vulgar. It's like people are like, oh, it's horrible, and I'm like, it's a new Madonna. It's like, what do you want? It's like, I know
Yeah,
it's not Madonna and Sam, but it's like at least she has the, at least it's anything new is like I'm just happy for something with something new.
right. I can't wait to hear that in a club. I'm sure I'll hear it on Friday.
Oh
Um,
yes.
my only complaint is it's too short, and there's this trend now of people doing songs that are like 2 minutes long, and I'm like,
Hmm.
why?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
That's
even
what.
Kylie Minogue with Padum that's like 2 minutes and like whatever seconds long.
Yeah, because it's I don't know. I think it's more like a whatever fits best on a TikTok. So that's what.
God, yeah, I
Uh,
know. All the kids are like, "Oh, this is that TikTok song," and I'm like,
or how about Kylie Padam Padam?
or some of these songs have been out way longer than any of that.
Hmm.
The world
It's
just likes
like
to make me feel old.
I know. It's like every day I'm reminded.
Yeah, I know. That and also living in Atlanta, I have moments where I'm reminded that I live in the South. Sometimes I forget, but then like something will happen that's really Southern, and I'm like, oh God, yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, because Atlanta's kind of like the bubble. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If you live close to the city, your center, you're good.
yeah,
Anything outside of that, it's kind of like you're reminded, that you're still in the South.
yeah,
Um, and
for
that's what
sure.
everybody asks me like, well, I used to always get mad, and this is kind of like the Madonna fans. When somebody says, "Oh, I don't like Atlanta," or I didn't like living in Atlanta. It's like, nobody was friendly, blah blah blah. I'm like, well, where did you live? Talladega, and I'm like, that's not Atlanta. It's like, or, you know, Dunwoody. I'm like, that's not Atlanta. It's like
Yeah,
the reason you're blaming in Atlanta because you lived in a burr, but of course you're not.
yeah,
You have to actually live in the city or do
I
stuff in the
know.
city. Why did you go out? No. Well, then why do you blame everybody for something you didn't do? You didn't go out.
Yeah, it's a lot different here, and I love it. I love when when August rolls around, and I love it when it's Madonna nights, especially around here, because it's like I feel like everybody comes together, and that's why also like I started the Facebook page is because I was on the other one, which
Hmm.
shall not be named. Um, And I got,
I don't think I remember that one. Yeah, I've only been on the Rebel Heart one. I'm sure I was on the
oh,
other one, but I think I've only been on the Rebel Heart one. I've
well,
been
I
on.
was, but I had so many problems too. And I had somebody like bitch me out about something. Oh, I think I said made some comment about Lady Gaga or whatever. Maybe. I don't know, but he called me like a spineless cunt. I'll never forget it. And I was like, wow. And I left the group, and then I just started my own, and was like, okay. And I just always, had I felt like there was not a lot of content on there. I felt like there was just a lot of bitchiness and cattiness.
Mhm.
And I'm like, you know what? Let's just start something different. And I don't know, but I mean, I do love my group, and I love my people, and it's been good.
Yeah, not everybody appreciates when I post something on my personal feed. So I'm like, I always love going to the our site or to go post something there, and
Yeah,
then you guys will appreciate it. So I'm like,
yeah, I know. Yeah,
I'm
because
like,
we're
I'm
like
like,
a dysfunctional Madonna family.
we are. We love each other. That's why.
Yeah, yeah,
We're all friends.
I
And
know,
too bad I live so far away. I just, I do miss seeing you guys
I know,
out and about. And I know
I know.
this is like you said, August was always my favorite time of year because I would always have Madonna, the Heretic for sure. I wouldn't always go to Madonna Rama, but I would always
Yeah,
do Heretic because it was right around the corner of my house. So I would always do the Heretic
right.
one. I think the last one I went to, I had the best time. It was just so much fun, and
Yeah.
they danced like the entire night. I'm
Mm.
sure I have pictures somewhere. We have pictures. Well, no, they're all gone because my Facebook account got hacked and
Oh,
stolen.
sucks.
I know it's terrible. I'm like, luckily I saved a lot of my Madonna stuff, but like stuff like with you guys that from stuff that I was tagged in, like when I would be out with you guys, stuff that all that stuff is probably been gone. But I'm looking for stuff through my. I had a Dropbox where I saved a lot of stuff, so I'm looking through that to see what I can find. But I saved
Yeah.
my videos from the MDNA tour when I was in the front row, and
Hmm.
I have those thankfully. But yeah, and then oh yeah, for my trip to Chicago, but I didn't really take pictures there because we couldn't really use our phones in that building.
Oh, from Madam
Uh,
Mac.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, because
that was that was a fun show. That was I met her makeup artist, Erin, finally, and then I think I startled Guy Osiri.
yeah, I remember
'Cause
you saying that you saw him because I think you and Toby were switching to VIP. Right.
yeah, I know. Well, but I saw him like down on the main floor, but like I met him before at MDNA, like he interviewed me, and then I saw him going up the stairs in Chicago from Adam X, and I just remember I was a little tipsy or a lot, and I ran up and like I smacked him on the shoulder to get his attention. I was like, "Hey!" And then he spun around. I did my best Nikki Finn, and no, he remembered me, and we talked, and he was looking at my tattoos, and I had like Madame X nails, and he was like, "Oh, let me take a picture of those." He's like, "But don't tell her that I have my phone." And I was like, "Oh, you're so funny. Like you don't have to lock up your phone."
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was a good
Oh,
show. That was a good night.
it was. I was. I guess she was not far from me either. I was like so, like, I was like screaming like when she came out.
Yeah.
When she came out into the crowd, and I think she was like maybe like just 3 or 4 seats in front of me, and I could just like she sat on somebody's lap or she was that segment of the show where she sits and speaks to somebody,
Hmm.
um, and she was like right there, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's so close. It's like, um, but I love not being on my phone because I'm like, even though I want to take a picture of this, I'm glad that I can because I'm not missing
Yeah,
the actual performance. You know what I mean?
you're paying
I'm not looking,
attention.
yeah, I'm not looking at the screen. It's
Yeah.
different.
I kept
My
moving
favorite.
up because I was on the floor in the back, and then somebody left, and they're like, "I got to work in the morning," and I'm like, "You didn't plan accordingly," and she gave me your tickets, and then I went in the middle, and then I kept moving up, and then I saw Jen and Toby, and then they pulled me into their aisle, and then I was there with them at the last song.
Yeah, it was a good show. I was like, definitely a different experience being in such an
Yeah,
intimate setting. But it was cool
yeah,
because like she felt so close. She was like literally right there.
yeah, yeah. It was unreal.
And my favorite there was, of course, Frozen. Oh my god, I was
Oh yeah, Frozen
dying.
was good. Frozen
I
was
was
so
dying when I
good.
saw Lola on the screen. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. Well, it looked like she was just floating.
Yeah, it was really cool. I was like, my husband and I were like, I was like, just he
Yeah,
knows that's my number one. He just happens to share a birthday with her, is what he tells
yeah,
me. I just celebrate her birthday.
yeah,
Well, I'll take him to dinner for her birthday. So that's what I usually tell.
yeah. I know, but lucky him to be able to share it with her.
Oh my God. I said, it was meant to be that we were together because I said, you have Madonna's birthday, and that's always a day that I would always celebrate every year, and I have somebody to celebrate with. And he loves her too. He used to, he went to see her, the times that she was in Atlanta, he'd always buy the VIP
Yeah.
tickets for her as well. He's like, I wish I would have, I think his ex got like all the VIP swag that they had gotten over the years. But
Oh
he's like,
yeah.
I wish I would have kept all that. Or he got everything. He got everything in the breakup. But I'm like,
Ugh.
because he did buy me a poster from the Confessions tour that was like a collector's item that he went on eBay, and because he had bought it for himself, and he didn't have it anymore, so he went and bought one from somebody, and we have it in our room framed up. So
Nice.
that was very sweet.
Yeah, I didn't see the Confessions tour, sadly. I don't know why I didn't travel. I should have, but
My God,
I know.
it
I
was.
know everybody loves that tour, and I love it, and the gays love that album, and it's a really good album. It's not my favorite. It's good though.
Mhm. Yeah, but you got to see Drowned World, and I didn't.
Yes, I like Red Light all the way. That's my favorite, followed by like Prayer, and then I think Erotica, and it's really hard to like because it depends on my mood. I mean, definitely my least favorite is Hard Candy.
I think that's a general consensus.
Yeah, this
I
is it's a good album, but it was her I really want a hit album. So I'm gonna work with
Yeah,
producers that are established and well known. And I was like, oh, this is
but
not
like,
what you normally do.
to me, it just sounded like the music was off. It didn't sound like
Yeah.
lyrically. It kind of sounded, but like the music could have been different. I don't know. It was just kind of weird for me.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good album, it's not bad. It's really good for the gym.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just that's my least favorite. Probably followed by, I like MDNA, but there are times when I don't know. I go back and forth. I don't hate any of her albums. Um, it just depends on my mood, I guess.
yeah. Because my I guess if you had to pick, my least would have been Harsh Candy,
Yes.
and then probably MDNA, because that was had such potential, but
Yeah.
there's not really a lot of. I did listen to it the other day because I was like, I said, I really, um, I was in the mood. I was like, I'm in the mood for an MDNA day. So cause I love Love Spent,
Yes.
the dance version, and I love both the acoustic and the dance.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm just like, but I'm like, I'll listen to, and I'm a singer. The more I listen to it, I guess like it's really good, but it has to be on the day that I feel like listening to it, because I'm like, um, I'm a sinner. I'm up here singing and dancing, like when she starts saying, talking about like Saint Sebastian, that part where she's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
When
love
she's
that
going
part.
through the Saints. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that part.
Yeah.
Um, and of course, Girl Gone Wild should have been a bigger hit.
Yeah. The gays are fickle. They
They
are.
are. I'm like, that was such a good hit. It was a good song. Turn Up the Radio was good.
Yeah.
Um, and then I Don't Give a. That's actually pretty good. It actually has one of Nicki Minaj's best raps. I dig
Yeah. No, I do love
that.
that song. That's my theme song all the time.
Yeah. Then of course, Rebel Heart would probably be up there next to those three.
Yeah.
The one that I didn't think I would like right off the bat was MD. Oh, and I'm sorry, Madam X. I didn't think I would like that because it was just such a departure, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of, but it's become one of my favorites. I'm like, I listen to that more
Yeah.
on a consistent basis than all the other ones, because like the other ones I kind of have to be in a certain mood
Yeah.
for, because I think they kind of convey a different feeling. But that one I can put on, and it's like it encapsulates everything. I don't have to be
Yeah.
feeling a certain way. I can just put it on. It's like, uh, I love the Faz Costoso. That's one of my favorites. Bitch on Loca. I love that. I mean, she could have released those two, and I think she would have done good. But
Yeah.
because there was that
Um,
whole Latin thing going on last year.
yeah, it's interesting though because it's very much like world music. So it's
Hmm.
it's like Madonna does. They're tinges of Paul Simon, Graceland, and Peter Gabriel, and things like that.
Hmm.
It's very much a departure from our usual stuff, which I think is
Yes.
needed. I mean, if Madonna just did everything that she did, if she didn't branch out, if True Blue had never happened and she just kept being like a Pop Tart, she never would have gone anywhere.
Yeah, she would have been that one hit wonder. Everybody said she was going to become.
Yeah. So, but she proved them all wrong, and she's still going. So,
Yep. They're still talking about her, so
yeah, I know.
she keeps. They keep saying, that she's over, but yet there's like every time you pull up in, the entertainment section, there's something about Madonna. So
You know,
she's
she,
doing something right.
she's going to be over when she says she's going to be over.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm excited for the tour. I can't
Me
wait.
too.
I hope there's a surprise drop of a song or something because it has to be. I don't know.
Well, probably.
I just think there's got to be something, a song of
Yeah.
some sort popping up because she's been doing so many, you know, little things here and there to not be working
Yeah.
on something else.
Oh yeah, no, I know. She's got surprises up her sleeve, believe me.
Hmm. And I'm looking forward to it. I'll be
Me
there
too.
soon, hopefully.
I know. Well, I
But
think that's a good place to end, probably.
perfect. Yes, thank you so
So
much.
I've
I
enjoyed
know.
this. It's just nice to geek out on our favorite.
Me too. Yes, we should just talk in general sometime.
I know, definitely. And hopefully listeners won't be like, why are they only talking about Madonna? I'm like, well, it's August. That's
It's
why.
it's Madonna. It's Madonna Rama August. We're talking about others.
Yes.
We delve into politics for a brief
Yeah, we
period of
did.
time.
We talked about other things. I mean,
Yeah,
Madonna is one of the main things that keeps coming back in the episodes, but it's more now so because it's the high holy holiday.
exactly. And it's coming up like it's that time of month. So
I know. Soon.
15 days,
Very soon.
15 days away.
65. It's crazy.
Oh my God, my husband's 67. So.
He was 2 when Madonna was born.
Exactly. I'm like, you're so lucky you were born on her birthday.
Oh, I know. I know.
All right,
Well,
darling. Well, thank you so
thank you,
much.
and thank you for being here and talking. And it's been fun. And we'll definitely have to talk again and in real world, not recorded.
Yes, we will for sure.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you, and I'll
Thank you.
talk to you
You're
soon.
welcome. All right.
All right,
Take care of yourself.
bye.
And good luck on your job tomorrow. I know you've done it before, but hey,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Hey,
Bye.
bye, honey.